Hello, welcome back to episode 4 of my Warcraft story. Have a little bit of a change around today. I've got myself a new desk. I've got a new chair coming later today, so that's all good. I've got one of those height adjustable desks, so I'm real chuffed about that. Yeah, almost like a pro now. Yeah, so I hope you're well. Today we are again gonna pick up the beautiful, because obviously we've done this many times. We're going to pick up the beautiful Invincible's reigns, which is going to happen, which is all good, yes. And I'm glad you're here to witness the. Oh, shut up! I'm trying to talk. It's a shame we can't turn that off. Today I'm going to just carry on talking about what I was talking about last time, which I tried to talk about was the different zones and stuff like that, and I might sort of ramble on about other stuff, so let's see how we get on. Oh god blimey, they don't shut up, do they, in here? So I'm on Cree today at my beautiful marksmanship hunter. Yes, here we are. Oops. Look, it's my new desk. You can't see it, but I'm really chuffed because it does make things look a lot better. I've got a lot more space, and yeah, because I've got 2 monitors on here, you see, and yeah, it's a bit of a pain otherwise. And it's because it's height adjustable, I can have it at different heights, which is good for an old man like me. Right. Let's get these down first. I'm one of these people who find it very difficult to concentrate when someone else is talking. Do you know what I mean? Right, is that enough? Blimey. Enough? Finished? Okay, good. Yeah, so here we are in ICC, just going up and doing our next bit for this dungeon. So anyway, I was talking about last week. Anyway, the reason I'm on Cree is because this guy here, me and Cree have. He was my first ever 60. Yeah, still have exactly the same character, except he was a dwarf. I've talked about it in the previous episodes, and I thought it'd be nice to have a little run on him today, due to the fact that we're talking about nostalgic old content and stuff like that. And yeah, this was my first ever 60, so I've had him 15 years, 14 years, whatever it is these days. 2004, isn't it? 14 years, so yeah. I'm not sure, I hate to think about how many scrapes and scraps we've been involved in over the years, but yeah, so anyway, another reason I'm on is because it kind of makes me remember certain zones. So it's all about vanilla zones, and we're talking about the zones that I liked and enjoyed playing. And when I think about it more, I think I like the Eastern Kingdoms ones. No, was it Kalimdor? Which one was it? Which one is it? Yeah, definitely say that I probably liked Kalimdor better, due to the fact that it just had more. Because you've obviously got Orgrimmar there, and then you've got the Barons and stuff like that. I first initially started playing on Eastern Kingdoms, obviously, because I was fighting as Alliance, and so you obviously start off in the Dwarf lands, as it were, and then going down through the Deep Winter. I remember the tram. The tram was always good fun, and it was always a cool little piece. I always thought that the Horde got a little bit short-changed with all that, and I know that apparently Orgrimmar and stuff like that was added quite late into development and stuff like that, so that's why the Alliance holds lands and stuff like that look a lot better. Although I do love Undercity, always loved Undercity. And yeah, so okay. I'd say out of the cities on the Horde, Undercity for me is the best one. Just think they're really cool. There we go, boom. Ooh. You watched it last week. I had a bit of trouble with it. I don't know what I've ever done before and haven't this week. Yeah, so going down from like Stormwind around that area, I really enjoyed places like Red Ridge at the time. Thought Red Ridge was quite cool. You had the big lake, didn't you? I remember sitting around and you used to go and have to fish stuff out of the lake and stuff like that. I also liked obviously Dustwood. If you haven't seen my leveling series, I did Dustwood. Did the whole shebang of that. It was quite good fun to do again. Really enjoyed that. Obviously Stranglethorn, going down to Stranglethorn was always an experience. The first time you meet the other faction, really. That was all good fun because I just enjoyed. Killing Alliance or killing Horde or whatever it was, and I like Stranglethorn because there was just so much there. It just seemed so huge, like the Barons did. Obviously, it wasn't split in two in those days. You had just Stranglethorn Val. So to run from top to bottom take you, I don't know, how long would it take you? A good half hour, maybe more. From top to tip, and the Barons would be the same because obviously you didn't have mounts in those days. You might have done. I think it was about level 30 to level 45 or something ridiculous like that. So you could have had a mount of 40, but even at 40, a lot of people in vanilla couldn't afford a mount of 40. So you were still scrabbling around trying to get gold to get that finished. But people didn't mind, you know. I think when Classic comes out and stuff, I don't think I'm going to be like a. There's only one thing I wanted to do in Classic, and one thing I regret not doing from Classic. As you can see, I'm just sort of going off in different tangents here. I'm sure you don't mind. But one thing I do miss from I did want to do originally in the game was because I played a priest. I wanted to get benediction and anathema, which is their sword. Their staff they get from Molten Core. Even now, and I've got I'd say most things that I could ever want, whether it be money or transmogs. I've got anything I've wanted. I've pretty much got, apart from Invincible's Reigns, but that doesn't count as a mount. And that's one thing I still now feel envious about when I see priests, because it's even now. If you see anathema in a BG, you know that priest, you know he's done his dues, or he's bought an account or whatever. And I one thing I regret is not getting that. And the thing was, because I'm going to talk about this because I've only just remembered about it. I actually, you had to get 2 bits for it, right? You had to go to Molten Core, and it was. I even remember then. It was one thing I wanted. I wanted to get this staff. Because I remember seeing. As I said, I used to help rank 14s, and I was trying to do rank 14, get rank 14 myself. I didn't. I got up to rank 10, but I was helping other guys do it, and. You know, I used to BG with like really good priests. There used to be 2 of us in there. I used to heal. There used to be really good priests that I used to play BGs with, and so there was two of us priests, and they used to, you know, people used to have this anathema or benediction as it was, because obviously they were healing. And if you don't know what anathema benediction was, it was basically a staff. If you were playing Holy, it would be called Benediction, and it was kind of like this really cool staff with this yellow sort of glow that followed you around, and so you walk along and it would just be like these puffs of smoke coming out of it in yellow. And if you were Shadow, it was called Anathema, so it had like different a completely different look to it. So when you're in shadow form, it looked really cool. It's just like this black evil staff kind of thing, and it was awesome. It was ace. You know, you knew you were the shizzle if you had anathema / benediction, and the fact that it was, you know, whatever spec you were, because bear in mind this is going back, you know, 13 years or whatever it was. You know, it looked really cool. Hey, got precious ribbon. Whee, never got that on this character. Blinding. There you go. You haven't got that before, precious ribbon. It drops off precious, obviously, and it's a shirt, and basically it gives you a buff here that you'll have for all eternity. So whatever you're doing, you'll always have that buff. Same, but best in show. I think I've got that a week before last. I've only ever got it on one of my characters, and lots of my characters run this beautiful old place. Yeah. Anyway, go back to the benediction story. So I was getting a bit of a name for PvP for myself, and by this time, I think it was probably early BC. There was certain things on the wane, and one of the things on the wane on our server was there was a few, because I was playing Horde then. There was a few good guilds, and they were kind of all factious and splitting up, and you know how people get, and you get in those days, you know, a lot of good people, but you used to get, well, even now you still get a lot of arseholes. But in my opinion, I don't really have much to do with guilds anymore. I don't. No one ever. I'm in this one called Cuck Lords. Don't know why. Don't even find it that funny. But no one ever speaks. No one ever speaks. I don't speak. I don't ever see anyone else on. You know, so I'm not really into the guilds that much. And I know a few of my friends that love their guilds and they raid and stuff. I don't really raid, so difference does it make? And the server I play on, there's not really a lot of PvPers, so I don't really join PvP guilds. And if they do, they want, oh, you know, you've got to be 2,000 rating. Have you? Okay, that means you're a good PvPer if you've got a 2,000 rating. Maybe I've just not really ever done arenas that much. So anyway, are we through? Yeah, we're through. Let's get away from let's get back to what I was talking about. So I really wanted this staff, and I thought, how am I going to get it? Now, one bit you had to do was go into Molten Core, right? You had to go into Molten Core, and there was this guy in there, and you kill him, and I think if I remember rightly, you had to. Oh God, annoying. If I remember rightly, you had to kill him, and then there was a chest, and you picked out the chest. It was called, I think it was called the Eye of Shadow. I'm pretty damn sure it's called the Eye of Shadow. Anyway, it was called Summit, and you had to get 2 pieces. So you had to get to start this quest off. You had to get 2 pieces. Now you get one from the Molten Core, as I said, which was this. I think it was 100% drop. So you could get, but you had to get in there. And I wasn't in a guild that PvE'd back then. I wasn't in a guild that actually was running Molten Core, because believe it or not many people were. You'd have all these guilds and all this going on, but the top guilds were doing all this Molten Core business, but most other people weren't, right? A lot of people didn't even know what Molten Core was, including me, until I found out, and I thought, oh, how do I get this stuff? So the one piece you had to go into Molten Core and run this and get this. I think it was called the Eye of Shadow, or it might have been called something else. One of these things was called the Eye of Shadow, anyway. And the other piece you had to get was in Winter Spring, or it dropped off these giants in Winter Spring, and that might have been the Eye of Shadow. I might have got them mixed up around the wrong way. I'm sure someone in chat what am I streaming? In comments will let me know. And yeah, so I know that you had to get this other piece. Now, I managed to get this other piece, right? And you had to get it. If I remember rightly, you had to get it on your priest. You couldn't go, oh, I'm gonna get Creed to go and get it. You know, I think you had to get it on the priest. Anyway, so I managed to get this other piece, right? So all I needed to do was get this cool staff, was go into Molten Core and get this other thing. And of course, I wasn't in another guild. So I remember even now it still pisses me off. I remember going to like certain guilds and stuff like that, and because obviously I was running BGs for these guys with these PvEers really that were doing PvP, helping their mates and stuff. And I remember saying, I'll pay for a group to take me to Molten Core. And of course I didn't have a lot of money, not in the general sense that, you know, people have money in this game now. Get rid of this crap now. Yeah, so I thought, well, how am I going to get it? Because I can't get into Molten Core. That's one thing I regret in all my time in Warcraft, is that I never got in to get that staff. And it still grates. It still grates because I just put so much time and effort into my priest, and I really wanted him to be one of those guys that had it. And in those days, it was bragging rights. It was, you know, look at me, I'm Charlie Big Potatoes, I've got a really cool staff, I got this. And people, I don't even notice what people have got on now, I really don't. But in those days, you know, it's like, oh look, he's a dude and stuff like that. And bear in mind, I was 14 years younger, and that sort of thing was important to me back then. And yeah, you know, I just thought, oh, you know, if I want to be, you know, good at this game, I've got to get this staff and stuff like that. Anyway, so it just never happened. I know that, yeah, you had to put these two things together, and from that you managed to go and get the quest that was in, I think it was in Eastern Plaguelands or Western Plaguelands, which you had to do, which again was a ball ache to do. And I never got to do it. And I still, even now, I think probably about 4 or 5 months ago, I remember sitting there watching someone do it. I think it was as Alex Zenzul, who's a classic player. He did it, and I just thought, oh mate, I wish I'd done that. So that's nagging me. That in the back of my head, that really is nagging me when this classic thing comes out. Will I? But then I think, oh, I'm gonna have to go and heal on classic. I don't really want to do that. But the mechanics were so much easier in those days anyway. I mean, all you have to do is just sort of, I think most of them, the worst they would do is fear you, you know what I mean? The mechanics are a lot easier to deal with. So, you know, I'd like to think I'm a better player than I was 14 years ago. So I reckon if I did, I reckon I could do it quite easily. But I'm just thinking, do I want to sit in doing Molten Core runs with people? I find it quite tedious doing it on my own. But I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how that's going to play out, because having benediction and anathema, that's good. But then you think, well, okay, I'll have it for a 3-4 months, and then they'll release a BC version of the game, and so I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Let me know down below what you think I should do. I value other people's opinions, but out of everything, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, out of everything about Classic, that is the one thing that I would really, it would niggle me, be at the back of my mind going, try and get an Anathema Benediction. Because I guess obviously the player base has changed. I think the people that want to play Classic in its purest form want to feel like they're 15 years younger. Yeah, of course, but you know, that real grindy, nuanced game that it was in those days, and a real challenge. I thought it was a real challenge. I don't really consider this game much of a challenge now. The challenge for me is fighting other people in BGs and stuff like that, and hopefully beating them and winning games and stuff like that. That is an is an infinite challenge, because obviously every single BG is different, you know. So that for me is what I enjoy doing. So yeah, going back. Okay, I really went off a tangent there and probably took up most of the thing, but I just wanted to share that with you, because that was a real big memory of mine. And as you can see, even now I'm still quite hurt by the whole experience. But there you go. There's an emotional Warcraft issue, isn't it? You know, yeah. Oh dear. What else was like? What? Oh, I just want to have a quick. Well, actually, want to talk to you about the the new things I've heard about BFA in the last couple of days, which I'm really pumped for. I'm sorry if you don't like PvP, but most people that enjoy my channel know that that's generally what I do. But I've heard about the new. I know this is my Warcraft story, but I just want to talk about it here because I don't really have any other forums to talk about it on. I don't do vlogs or anything. But I heard about the new war mode, and that sounds like a lot of fun. And if you don't know what it is, it's basically, you know, you have to be flagged now to go and do PvP. Which, if you play on a PvE like server like I do, that's the way it is. But everyone is on now when BFA comes out, everyone will be on a PvE server. And what you'll do, the long and short of it, is you will select to go onto a PvP server. So different shards. So if you want to run around, do PvE every single day for the rest of your life and never see a PvPer, that's what you can do. And alternately, if you're a PvEer and you think, oh, you know, I don't want to be a PvEer anymore, I want to be a PvPer, there you go. Now, what you get is this like little toggle on and off thing, and that will give you the option to PvP called War Mode, and it looks really, really cool. In theory, it looks really cool. Because it gives you something like, it gives you a load of abilities like your honour talents kind of do now. But it also gives you, which I found really interesting, 15% more experience when you're leveling. And I'm thinking, hold on a minute, 15% more experience when you're leveling, right? Let's take your first character that you're going to get to 120, right? Say you're Horde, you're going to be on the Zandalari Isle, and obviously the Alliance are all going to be. What's this drop? Do I need any of this crap? No. Okay, let's get on my horse and get rid of all this rubbish. So the Alliance are all going to be in Cold Terrace, and the Horde are going to be on Zandalar, right? So it doesn't really matter. So you'll be like, oh, I don't want to PvP while I'm leveling or whatever. But it's like, well, you're not going to be, because you're not going to see any, because you're on a different continent. And by the time you've leveled, they'll all be leveled, and everything's scaled anyway. So if you're 111 and they're 120. The fight scales down. It won't be like they're one-shotting you. From what I know of it. And to me, that sounds really, really cool. It's almost like World PvP becomes fair. Yes, fair. I know. Obviously, until people get ridiculous gear. But certainly at first, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm quite looking forward to that. Let me know what you think of it down below. I'd love to hear. Yeah. Anyway, off on that tangent, I just thought I'd bring that up. So we've got Lich King to do anyway. So we've nearly got the horsey, which is good. Yeah. What? Let's talk about. And again, go back to what I was saying about the lands, different lands. So yeah, from straight. I remember because that was where you used to go from Booty Bay, and Booty Bay Then you used to go from Booty Bay to, as in on the boat. Where was it you went from there? Ratchet? Yeah, I'd like to say Ratchet. What have I not done? Hey, why can't I go? Why can't I go to Litchi? Have I killed all these? I've killed all these, right? Yeah, yeah. Right face, yeah, done those. Kill this one. What's going on here? I have to loot it, do I? Just trying to think. I've killed everyone. Why am I up a spire? Am I going mad? Is that what's happening here? The spire. What's happening with me? There we go. Going mad. Yeah. Okay, let's get this boy down. Yeah, so anyway, so you used to go to Ratchet. I love Ratchet. I thought Ratchet was really cool. And that's kind of what I remember about the Alliance side. I remember more about that continent as far as the Horde, because obviously you start Undercity and then you go to Brill and Death Knell and the Sepulture, is it called? That was always good fun. Yeah, and up round there, and Hillsbrad and stuff like that. I really remember Sepulture quite a lot. That used to be good. It's just when you started to see quite a lot of players and stuff, which I quite enjoyed. Always like to see, you know, when you're out in the world, to see lots of people running around with you and doing their thing and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's cool. Hillsbrad I liked, because obviously Hillsbrad's when you started getting the Tara Mill. But I mean, as I think I said in a previous episode, I don't remember ever having much to do with anyone at low level. I remember being 60 and having fights at Tara Mill and South Shore. Yeah, I don't really remember a lot about doing PvP when I was lower level, and certainly not out in the world. Because as I said before, I wasn't on. My friends, when I joined the game about 2 months after, and my friends were all on the PvE servers, which I obviously had to join because they were on it. I didn't have to do anything. So yeah, I liked Hillsbrad. I remember going to the cave. You had all the Yetis in the cave. You probably still have. And I remember you had that sort of dwarf place at the bottom there. That was good fun. And then of course you had the sea there. You had to see all the Murlocs on, which are probably still there. And then from there you used to go on to Arathi, and I don't know why I really liked that Arathi. I mean, there's not much there really. I think it's maybe because it's Arathi Basin and stuff like that. So I remember the Alliance had that little basin, as it were, where they all their quest hub was, and we had one up in Hammerfall, which was in the top right hand corner. And I liked Arathi. It was quite a cool, chilled out place, and it was one of those places where wherever you stepped, there was something trying to kill you. And there was this big guy who used to walk around, like a big stone guy, and he's one of those where there's like stitches in Dustwood, where you just always walking into him and getting killed by him if you didn't watch out where you were going. But all good fun. I really enjoyed my leveling experiences back in those days. It wasn't a case of getting to 60. It was just enjoying the game. And I kind of missed that to a point. I don't think you'd ever really. Let's see. You ever really get that back, do you? When everything's shiny and new, it's shiny and new, isn't it? So right, what we've got it. Oh, right. Yeah, that. Well, there we go. The end of episode 4, or volume 4. Rambling, tangents, you know, there's no real rush. I mean, it's not like it's ever going to drop for me in the next 30 volumes, is it? Or 130 or 1050 volumes. So they're just ramblings about the game and things that come into my head, and I do hope you've enjoyed that. If you did, please consider leaving a big thumbs up down below. My heights and my stuff's changed. And if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. If you are a subscriber, thank you very much for your support and supporting this series. So let me know if you're enjoying the series down below. It'd be nice to hear from people that are. It just leaves me to say you have a great day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.